A real plan to cut $1 trillion year one and to balance the budget in 3. Pro-life, pro-liberty, guided by faith and principle. Ron Paul, the one who will restore America now.
I'm Ron Paul, and I approve this message.
And it's time to get out of the comfort zone because these people aren't playing games. 9/11 was an inside job. 9/11 was an inside job. 9/11 was an inside job.
We're going to organize. Humanity's going to come together. We are swinging muskets here, toe-to-toe with the globalists. They're bloodied. We're bloodied. It is absolute, total war. And now with today's daily quote, because we're looking back at past war propaganda that led us to war, we give you something from William Randolph Hearst, the head of the Hearst Empire. You supply the pictures and I'll supply the war. He told a famous painter, Remington, that, go make me fake images of the Spanish engaged in massacres and I will supply the war. And that's what we're being given by George Clooney and all these other Coney 2012 groups, is that they're going to have them a good old war to take over more resources to stop some little nobody warlord and, well, help the dictator there in Uganda continue his operations. Absolutely disgusting. Now I want to shift gears into a speculative realm. I listened to this over and over again, and I want to know your view on this. I've heard a lot of comedians imitate Obama, and I've never heard anybody this good. This reportedly was released by an anonymous source a few days ago from Obama at a campaign event where he didn't know that the mic had been left on. We've seen many cases of that happening. I've listened to the voice over and over and over again, and it sounds like Barack Obama. Tell me what you think. But the point is, he says, yeah, Rick Santorum's out. It's going to be Romney. Yeah, you saw what they did to Paul in Maine, where it was certified fraud, even the New York Times admitted, and Iowa. I mean, it sounds like Obama. But he says, I don't blame the Republicans for cheating, Ron Paul. So we need to find out who recorded this, because here's the big telltale sign it's real. YouTube keeps pulling this everywhere, just like the TSA video they pulled yesterday. That's another big sign. If this isn't Obama, this person has a career as an impersonator. I'm here to tell you, because my ear, I mean, I've even had, famous people call me up and pose as George Bush, and I can tell them, who it is. I can tell. This is Obama, or it's a computer or something, because I've never heard something this good. And it sounds just like a open mic where he's off at a distance, doesn't know it's on. It's picking him up. The question is, who is the tech that recorded this? We need to investigate this. That's why I'm showing it to the Info Warriors. I'd say 5 percentage points out of 100 that this is not real. 95% this is Barack Obama admitting that Ron Paul was defrauded. Well, even the New York Times did that. Here it is.
Rick doesn't have a chance. And the powers that be want it to be Romney. And it looks like that's what's going to happen. And, well, you know how that goes. And look what they did up in Maine. They want to pull out of the picture quickly, and we all know what happened. I can't say I blame them. Well, it's a moot point now, anyhow. He's done.
He's done. Ron Paul's done. Rick Santorum's done. The ringer that ran Bain Capital, that just supplied the head of Obama's economic team to Obama, he's in charge. So there's the ringer. Obama's probably going to be back in running against the Ken doll, Mitt Romney, who I guess is going to get the United States of America if he becomes president, and I guess make this his home planet. But all of this is going on, and it's completely insane. And I hope that the InfoWarriors will look into this, because whether that's a real tape or not, we know Maine and Iowa were a fraud. And I see the Ron Paul campaign people, who were good folks, but, on average are about 25 or so that run things. They're like, we can't believe he's winning in the polls and all this, but he's not winning anywhere, not one state, because it's fraud. You already saw it over and over again. I remember Ron Paul's brother in front of me contacted high-level campaign people when they stole Iowa, and they said, oh, it's preposterous. There's no fraud. It's confirmed. And then Maine, they finally went, oh, there is fraud. Okay? There is fraud. Get that through your head. Ron Paul's not naive. He knows what's going on. But it's not a loss. He ran. He's educating people. But let's not be delusional, okay? We're dealing with a bunch of criminals. Let's get into some other news here. Eugenicists want to sterilize Australian children without ever telling the kids' parents. Well, why not? Already in California, they give you abortions or Gardasil shots without parental consent. And they're already pushing in the U.S. in the big journal of bioethics that children be killed up to age 3. I mean, if you're not for that, you're an extremist. What's wrong with killing a 3-year-old, Even if they're perfectly healthy, it's trendy. But in the twisted minds of those who have seized positions of power all over the world, separating children from their parents and performing medical experiments on them in secret when you send your kids to public school is fully acceptable form of medicine. And this form of child abuse is exactly what the WAMHC has proposed in its new mental health bill. Same stuff going on. I mean, they sterilized Native Americans when they went to public school on the reservation. Why not do it to the Australians? Why not to us? The sky's the limit. People are naive. The president says Congress can go fly a kite. Why not? You're all being trained to have the government put their filthy paws on you with the TSA. And hell, they're announcing internet censorship now. Why not take that child and sterilize them when they're in public school and the parents don't know? Parents don't like it? We'll send a SWAT team by. Got those everywhere. It's global standardization. Global, and if you don't like killing kids up to age 3, you're with Al-Qaeda. Let's continue here, getting into the TSA, who train children to be abused by pedophiles everywhere. That's what they're training them for, is pedophile abuse, and it's all part of pedophile standardization. The New World Order basically is a bunch of pedophiles and warmongers and a collection of other vampiric-type individuals. Breaking, TSA threatens mainstream media not to cover story. We're going to talk to our guest about that. They censored his video, but now it's back up. TSA tacitly admits to $1 billion body scanner system is critically flawed. Well, it's not flawed. It makes Chertoff money. Federal agency savage for a weak response to viral video. Continuing, YouTube restricts video of engineer proving how useless TSA body scanners are. Man walked through radiation firing machines with metal objects knowing he would not be stopped. And the TSA made a big joke about it on their website. With more on that, we go to the TSA blog saying, hey, we protect you from stuff that goes boom, talking to you like you're a 3-year-old paralyzed by fear. And with more of these incredible developments is the man of the hour himself, Jonathan Corbett, who is a technology entrepreneur, frequent traveler, and first person to sue the TSA after the nude body scanners and invasive pat-down program began in November of 2010. How dare him not want to be put in radiation bathing machines? How dare him not want to actually pay a security fee to be groped? How dare him be involved? It's un-American. And we're joined by the thought criminal now because I see on your blog that you've actually confirmed with the media, and your story is in hundreds of newspapers, thousands of blogs right now, one of the biggest stories out there, that the TSA is contacting reporters and strongly urging them, warning them to stay away from you. So a new form of covert censorship. In fact, the quote there is strongly caution because you have an agenda. How dare you have an agenda to not want people to grab your testicles?
Yeah, that's right. I actually had another reporter ask me to differentiate myself from just someone that's angry. And I said, you know what, I am angry. I do have an agenda. I want these body scanners gone. I don't want to have people touching me when I'm going through the security lines. So that is my goal. It's right out there. And yeah, like you said, the TSA is now intimidating reporters. They've already trashed the Fourth and Fifth Amendment, so I think they're going for the First Amendment now.
Tell us the specifics of what you've got up on your blog, TSA Out of Our Pants, and of course we've got a link to that underneath you when you're speaking. Give us the details of this new development.
Yeah, basically I was talking to a local mainstream media guy, reporter here in South Florida, and he was interviewing me, and in the middle of the interview he starts asking me to respond to what the TSA was saying, and drops the bomb that the TSA told him that he shouldn't publish the story, that they strongly caution him against it, that I have an agenda, and that they shouldn't publish it.
Now, he sent you a copy of the email that they sent him. Why not just show the full deal? And I mean, is the reporter scared that they might come get him? Because that's an agenda too, wanting a First Amendment.
Well, I think he's more scared that they won't talk to him anymore at the least, but yeah, the reporter would prefer to remain anonymous.
Wow, so now they're not just knocking down YouTube videos or blocking them, they're now trying to restrict the press. What do you think of the fact that after they blocked your video but realized it had already been seen over 800,000 times, that they took the YouTube block off?
I was greatly appreciative that at least it finally came around. Obviously it was the wrong move to put it there in the first place, and YouTube, whether it's a community flagging or whether it's a YouTube staff flagging, they need to be on top of this. There's no reason it should have been censored for a full day. But it is up there, and the hit counter is slowly moving up.
Now, we do have the name of the TSA spokesperson, the group that masquerades as bonded sworn law enforcement, who did try to intimidate the journalist. That's on your blog. How do you pronounce this? Shari Koshitz?
Your guess is as good as mine. She is the regional TSA spokesperson down here in South Florida.
I mean, who do these people think they are? I've now confirmed that they have checkpoints all over the country years ago, but now they're rolling out in all 50 states, and they call themselves TSA inspectors, and they're not even FBI. It's one thing when the FBI's out of its jurisdiction, that's bad enough. Now just these people masquerading as police, and members of Congress have pointed this out, unbonded, unsworn, untrained, are now just showing up and commanding the police as if they're God.
Yeah, there's a lot of TSA getting outside of the airports, and that's one of the important things to remember, is that if you don't fight these body scanners and pat downs now, they're coming to you even if you don't fly. So the apathy is not a good plan. They've already deployed these, what they call Viper teams, VIPR, to train stations, to Greyhound stations. They're even going to subways now. So if we don't fight back in the airports, expect it to just grow.
There's a separate story that was our top story tonight on the Nightly News, where the Secretary of Defense, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, they went before Congress yesterday, and Congress said, you need our authority to help launch a war in Syria. And, Libya was illegal, and they just say, no, Congress has no authority. We get our authority from the UN and NATO. And the congressmen and senators were like, but here's the Constitution. And they just said, we don't care. To me, that is a total coup by a foreign organization through the federal government and our military, and it's not even getting that much attention. And then you add to that the TSA grabbing people's genitals, microwaving people.